Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Forgotten Favorites. This is the show we're doing each and every morning here in the month of August in 2021, where I'll be talking about some cool, maybe more obscure or little known or little talked about rarities, obscurities, things from my collection, albums that maybe many people have never heard, bands that people have never heard, or albums from bands that everybody seems to know but nobody ever talks about. Most importantly, I like all these albums. That's why I'm going to talk about them. And we're going to go dip into all forms of metal and jazz fusion and prog rock, classic rock, hard rock. We're going to kind of cover all of the different genres that we covered here on the channel. Today we're going to take a cool look at a debut album from, I think, a band that's not well known here in the States. I think they did better overseas. In Europe and the UK, they had mild success here early on in the US and North America. But, I would think these days some people might have heard the name Lake, but perhaps don't really know anything by them. So Lake, the album I'm featuring today, is the self-titled debut. That's it right there. Those are the guys in the band. So Lake were basically a German band who had a Scottish singer. And released a whole ton of albums over the years, right? But their 70s albums were the bigger sellers, and big, not really big. I don't think they've had any like gold or platinum albums, certainly not here. They may have had some certifications elsewhere, but not in this country. They did tour with some more well-known acts early on, but basically, for the most part, a forgotten band by most, if you heard of them at all, right? So this self-titled debut, like I said, was released here in this country in 1977. It actually came out in 1976 in Germany. And the band was comprised of Martin Tiefensee on bass guitar, James Hopkins Harrison lead and backup vocals, Alex Conti on guitars and vocals, Dieter Arendt on drums and percussion, Jeffrey Pesey on keyboards, vocals, a little guitar, and Detlef Peterson on keyboards and vocals. And he actually also produced the album. So to describe the sound of Lake, kind of hard. I think by today's standards, you would probably classify them as somewhat of a yacht rock band. So in other words, like a 70s or early 80s kind of pop rock band that had maybe a little bit of a hard rock muscle at times, maybe a little prog rock tendencies at times. That's how I would kind of classify these guys. It's just melodic rock circa 1976. Right, so think like Player and Pablo Cruz and Ambrosia, that sort of thing. Okay, great vocal harmonies. Holy moly, the vocals and some of the melodies on this album are absolutely amazing. So we've got the kickoff song, On the Run, which I think was released as a single, killer song. Could have been a hit in any stretch of reality. Maybe the fact that they were a German band didn't have a lot of promotion here, but man, such a good song, such a hook. Great keyboards. You got like clavinet and Hammond organ throughout this whole album. Great rhythms, real kind of snappy rhythms, lots of groove, and pretty tasty guitar licks, but the vocals are just absolutely outstanding. Sorry to Say is another good, catchy rocker. Then you got Time Bomb. That was definitely released as a single. That's another good, catchy rock song. Then you've got Chasing Colors, also really strong. And then Do I Love You, which is track number 5. That ends the first side of the LP. I mean, Do I Love You has just got massive hit written all over it. It's more of like a slower ballad, but it's so memorable and so catchy. Like I said, if you like the kind of the mainstream hits of Ambrosia, Atlanta Rhythm Section, definitely Player and Pablo Cruz. I mean, you can name any other, Doobie Brothers, name any of these other bands that were maybe some of the Alan Parsons Project, that sort of thing. Just really, really good, memorable songs. Side 2, you got Key to the Rhyme. All right, another good upbeat rocker. Jesus Came Down, another strong song. And then the album ends with perhaps the most adventurous song. It's over 10 minutes long, Between the Lines. That's the song where the band really gets to kind of stretch out and dip into their, instrumental abilities. There is vocals, and it's a really catchy song too. But you've got, really great Hammond organ. You've got lots of clavinet all over the place, tasty guitar solos. The band gets to stretch it out. There's little bits of like Santana in there, and the more adventurous Ambrosia, maybe even a little early Journey, that sort of thing. Really, really strong album. I'm just, it's funny. I only just got into these guys not long ago because I had started seeing folks posting in the comments, Pete, have you ever heard Lake? Have you ever heard Lake? I'm like, I never even heard of the band. And then a buddy of mine, he has a couple of the early albums. He's like, oh no, Lake's really good. You should check them out. So I went and got, there's 2 BGO Records releases that have the first 5 albums. So the first 3 are on this. You got Lake, Lake 2, and Paradise Island, and the other one has their next 2. And what most people say is those first 5 are the classic ones. That's most of the 70s output right there, going into the early 80s. So I highly recommend this band. Quite good if you can get your hands on it. Honestly, all 3 of them are really good. Probably, for my money, the first 2 albums are the strongest. But the other ones that come, immediately after that are also really good. And it's funny because you look at the guys in the band. They're not. You can maybe understand. I know Martin Popoff and I had a conversation about this a couple months ago. You kind of look at the guys and great musicians and singers and songwriters, but not exactly poster childs for mainstream magazines and airplay, and ads based on they're a bunch of hairy German guys, and a Scot, right? But if you're just going by the music itself, man, so good. So good. So check it out. Lake, released in 1976 in Germany, 77 here in this country. I believe if you look at the image thumbnail of this video, there's 2 different album covers. This is the German album cover, the U.S. album cover, a little bit different. But again, pretty cool. Highly recommend. I'm so happy that I checked out these guys. So for all of the few people who recommended Lake in recent months, thank you. Really good band. If you're interested, like I said, by today's standards, probably called something like yacht rock, but just really good 70s rock music, melodic rock music that has little elements of the other genres that I spoke about. So that is our Forgotten Favorites of the day. If you haven't heard it, listen to it. Put in your comments below after you've heard it. Let us know what you think. If you are a fan of Lake, let us know what you think of the album. If you haven't revisited this album in quite some time, now's the time to do it. And then also put your comments below. So with that being said, I do want to dip into a little rant for a second here. And, Ace Rothstein, this is for you, Mr. Troll of the Day. So, we got this guy, Ace Rothstein. Got to give him credit. Ace Rothstein, a great character, played by Robert De Niro in Martin Scorsese's Casino. So I'll give you kudos for that. That's about all I'm going to give you kudos for today. So Mr. Rothstein, I can't recall if I've ever seen him comment before, so I don't know what pile of dog poop he kind of crawled out from under. But he decided to come on to one of yesterday's videos to basically make fun of me. And he went into this whole, not once, not twice, but 3 times, 3 different comments, talking smack about the way I wear my hair. Okay? Which, surprising, coming from a guy who's probably 28 and has no hair, he's bald as a cue ball. Dude, I wear my hair pretty well for a 55-year-old. So there's really, my mother doesn't tell me how to wear my hair. My wife doesn't tell me how to wear my hair. So a stupid little nincompoop like you really think I'm going to listen to you or any of your comments? I actually laughed more than anything else. And, as much as internet trolls like him like to go on the internet and make fun of people and talk shit about people, I have just as much fun reading comments from idiots like you and clicking that block button and banning you from commenting ever again on Sea of Tranquility. Goodbye, idiots. Ha ha. You are today's casualty. I will say, I very rarely block anybody like that. It takes a lot. If I do 1 a month, that's a lot. So for those of you who seem to think that I do that left and right, I don't. If someone's being abusive towards me or any of the guests on this channel or against fellow viewers, that's pretty much instant ground for dismissal. Or if you're just being a royal pain in the ass instigator over and over and over again and just trying to start shit on here, that's also grounds as well. And we've had a bunch of those. So, so if you happen to see a fool on other YouTube channels with the name Ace Rothstein. Tell him what a troll he is. He already knows it because he's probably listening right now, and I'm sure he read my comment that I sent him before I deleted him. And quite frankly, Ace Rothstein, you've just gotten 1 minute more worth of airtime than you actually deserve. So, that house that you're living in, your mom's house, that basement dungeon room that you live in, go crawl back under there. Eat your bag of Cheetos and your frozen dinners and cry all you want because you're a miserable human being, and good riddance. So anyway, visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. So stay tuned for more of these each and every day throughout August. Like I mentioned yesterday, there is no In the Prague seat tonight. I have family stuff to attend to, so I will be leaving the house shortly, gone for the whole day. So we're going to reconvene with tonight's originally planned episode, which is our favorite prog and fusion albums of 1975. That will happen next Tuesday. Okay, so we got a week off from In the Prague seat. But tomorrow, I'll be back with What's Hot shows, as well as more Forgotten Favorites Thursday night. The Monsters Den. Chris Allo's on vacation. I might be doing that one solo. We'll see. I've asked a couple people to fill in, so we'll see what happens there. But otherwise, and then be back at the Funhouse on Friday morning with Martin Popoff, where we're going to be talking about our 5 favorite producers. Okay? Those 5 producers that we just love what they do, the work they do with the bands that they've worked with. So that's coming up on Friday morning. And also, Simon Bray coming back on the show not once, but twice this week. Tomorrow, we are going to be ranking our top 5 albums from the Atlanta Rhythm section. And we'll be doing the same thing on Friday, our top 5 albums from UK melodic rock / prog band 10. Okay, both of these bands have huge catalogs, so we're going to stick to our top 5s, a couple of honorable mentions, and talk a little bit about the band. So both of those are coming up this week as well. So lots of stuff happening this week. You don't want to miss any of it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Click on that notification bell so you get alerted every time we post a video. Okay. If you want to make a channel donation, the link to our Ko-Fi page is below, as well as the link to our merch page, where there's all sorts of great Sea of Tranquility merchandise, shirts and hoodies and hats and caps and stickers and all sorts of stuff, as well as the link to seatranquility.org, our website that has now been on the air for 20 years. Thanks for watching, and come back here on YouTube all the damn time, because we are here all the damn time. I am Pete Pardo. Have a good day, everybody. See you.